Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching the Faith.
All right, everybody. What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Faith, and you are watching the Faith Factor. All right, so I am here today to just give you a little bit of this good morning message. Welcome, everybody, as you file in. I'm trying to learn the new controls here on StreamYard. StreamYard got some pretty cool new features here, and one of those features is music. Now, I don't like that they don't allow us to choose our own selection, but hey, I love the improvement. Love the improvement. So let's get it. Let's get it going, y'all. This morning, I want to talk about the sisterhood. I'm going to talk a little bit about the sisterhood. And I am thinking, because I heard CK say that we need a better class of men, and I agree with him. You know, I really have a lot of respect for CK because when he does his content, he goes hard on the men because he understands that men are supposed to be the leaders. And right now we have a deficit of a good class of men who are worthy leaders. But now I also want to do my part as a woman. And I also want to say that we also need a better class of women. You know, everything that's been going on with this Tasha K stuff, everything that's been going on with her and Cardi B, different things that I see going on online, different things that I see in the news involving Black women, you know, getting hurt and harmed by men that we choose to be in our lives, and how our children are affected by it inadvertently by proxy. You know, I want to delve into all of that today because it seems to me like we got this idea of freedom, and I'm all about women having freedom. It's about time, especially Black women. You know, we haven't been free to be ourselves in a very long time. So it's about damn time that we do things for ourselves, that we're selfish. Absolutely. It's time. Now, I see a lot of Black women empowerment content creators. I see more and more of them, and I think it's a good thing. But here's the thing. When you hear a Black woman content creator speak on empowerment and her talking points are sounding similar, I'm not saying all the way, but similar to something that men would say in order to control women, that woman doesn't truly understand what sovereignty is. And I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. Sovereignty. Please, potato, motherfuckers, okay? Here's the thing about that. If you are a woman preaching about empowerment and a Black woman's right to be free, you can't be sitting up here trying to tell another woman what kind of man she should want to sleep with. And y'all hear me out. And it's not just sleep with, maybe she want to just be with this guy. She loved the guy. Now, of course, barring the obvious, the guy is not being abusive mentally, physically, emotionally. A woman can choose to be with any guy she wants to be with. Now, we can give our own personal our own personal take on what it is that women should be looking out for. Of course, I always say, don't get with anybody that's abusive, and look at a man's character. And also, if the man is a poor man, he really needs to be focusing on getting his money right. He doesn't need to be focusing on dating uses. These are all things I've always maintained. But aside from mental, emotional abuse, physical abuse, if a sister chooses to be with a poor man, that is her choice at the end of the day. Who am I to tell her who to be with? And see, that's the part of sovereignty that a lot of us don't want to deal with. We don't want to deal with when a sister makes her own free choice that conflicts with our own. So I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about how we bash each other over the head for choices that ain't got nothing to do with you. Personal. That's that sister's choice. It's the equivalent of when a man says he's attracted to a certain type of woman. And then other men tell him, oh, you like fat girls. Trying to shame him for being with a bigger woman. Who are these other men to tell this man what he's attracted to? So in this instance, this is where people need to mind their own goddamn business, right? It seems real simple. Because who she's sleeping with ain't got nothing to do with female empowerment. It really doesn't. But that's it in a nutshell. If she gets with a broke guy, that's on her. If he gets with a fat girl, that's on him. We shouldn't be policing who each other sleeps with. That's a little bit too much like micromanaging somebody else's life. Especially when the person has not asked you, and these type of things are personal, and I do mean personal life choices. Now, I have family members who they've gotten married to men who were poor. I have a cousin, she's top of her field in computer programming. She makes over $200K a year. She married a man who is a high school teacher. So she earns way more money than him. But not only that, when she first met him, she was making way more money than him. She was already in the six-figure category, whereas he did not even have his degree yet. She married him when he was dirt butt ass poor. And while I myself would not go that route, there was something about him that she liked. And so they proceeded to get married, and they proceeded to have a family. And he was what you would call a house husband. And every time I would see that situation, it made me cringe because of my personal beliefs. But then I had to think to myself, Faith, is that any of your goddamn business? And I had to think about it. In their situation, he wasn't beating her. He wasn't being verbally, physically abusive from what I could see. He was good with the children. He kept the house the way it should be kept. He was in school doing his own thing, and she allowed him to stay home and take care of the kids while he go to school. And so that's how he ended up getting his degree and becoming a teacher, because he pretty much sat at home and he was able and allowed to do that. And that worked for them in their marriage. And they have been married now for about 30 years. So that sister, being of a mind that she didn't give a damn about what nobody else thought, she practiced her own sovereignty, even though a lot of people didn't approve. And I would have to say, people like this, they're brave, because there'll be a lot of people that will be going against your personal choice that have nothing to do with them. So this is an example of why I want to talk about sovereignty. An example of why it's important for us to sometimes step back from ourselves and man our own goddamn business. Very important. I'm going to change the track because that upbeat music was kind of getting on my nerve. Change to something a little bit more softer and mellow. Now, the second thing about manning our own goddamn business. I saw a Tasha K interview where she was interviewing a black woman on her show, and this woman would be what I call ghetto ratchet. She kind of loose in the caboose, but she's a proud hoe. Now, here's the thing. I don't have anything against proud hoes either, as long as you not fucking my man. As long as you not hurting me, and your escapades is just, you know, just that's your thing. You can be a proud hoe. That's another part of sovereignty. So y'all say, but Faith, these women going around here looking like hookers and prostitutes, dressed up like straight up, you know, garden tools, sleeping with this man and that man. You condone that? No, not for myself, not for me personally. That's what I'm getting at. But my love for that sister is not going to be any less because of her personal sexual promiscuity choices. I'm still going to love that sister the same. But yeah, that young lady, I sat in that interview and I heard her just riddle off at least about 10 different celebrity guys that she just had, you know, casual sex with. But she said that she was using protection. You know, she was being responsible. Didn't seem like she was fucking nobody else's man, sleeping with anybody else's husband. So I say, rock on, honey, with your bad self. I have no less love for that sister. And I had to learn, because see, Faith kind of judgmental, but I had to learn how to reel back being judgmental with other women, especially when it's none of my business. Exactly, it can't hide. Can't hide says she just loves to get it in. Right. There's some sisters. See, here's the other thing too. A lot of black men will sit up here and try to shame or slut shame women for the way that they dress or their promiscuity. Even though they the biggest hoes themselves. They got large, high, numerous body counts. As a matter of fact, they out here adding to the high body count of many women out here. They claim that they want someone who's pure as the driven snow, but they out here tainting their own dating pool by bumping and grinding and pumping and dumping it every female they can get to. Now you can't be out here tainting the dating pool yourself, being a hoe yourself, and then complain about the number of body counts on the women out here when the demand for hoe-like behavior is high. And everybody, and I do mean women included, are using sex as a recreational tool. So I do not have less love or less respect for a woman that's honest about what she likes to do and how she is and what she is like. What I don't like is those lying ass bitches that act like they so pristine and pure and high and mighty. They ain't never had a high body count. Faith got a high body count, y'all. I lived. I'm not gonna sit up here and be hypocritical. I have lived, y'all. We all have had a hoe stage, a quote unquote hoe stage is what they like to call it. But I like to call it a stage where we were just basically, experimental. Everybody had an experimental stage. It's the norm these days. So if I know I had my experimental stage and you know you had your experimental stage, who are you as a woman to judge the next woman because she liked being in her experimental stage, and so now she crossed over from experimenting to, hey, this is what the fuck I do, and she's proud of it. Simone Lewis says men talk trash about hoes, but they often pay the hoes the most attention. Exactly. And they like to pay the hoes the most attention because they want sex. The number one thing and the number one reason why men are even up in your face is not because they want to be your friend. Half the time it ain't even because they want you as a wife or a girlfriend. They initially want to smash. I'm just going to be honest. I think that's 99.9% of the time. Good morning. Let's see. I don't want to chop up your name. Ayel, Yizel, fella. I want to chop it up. I'm sorry if I did though. But good morning. Hey, what's up? What's happening? BMT is in the house. Business Minded Talk says, I side-eye dudes that talk about women in the high road. Exactly. Gladly. Oh, Ken has said, glad I escaped my whole days unscathed physically though, but I had fun. Exactly. You're having fun. You're doing the same thing that a lot of these men are out here doing. Except that because they have a penis, they don't get judged by society the way that you as a woman get judged. You get the label of being a hoe. a promiscuous woman. How I don't think that a single woman can be a hoe. I don't think so, unless she's selling pussy. That's different. But other than that, if you're a single woman, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You're not beholden to nobody but yourself. You are free. You only answer to yourself. And see, I think this is what people get it twisted, because they want to treat single women as if they own them. And that's nothing but control. If we're talking about sovereignty, if we're talking about freedom, then nobody should have any type of control over you whatsoever. Whatever decisions that you make about your personal life that only affects you, and I put emphasis on only affect you, and you're being responsible. It's nobody else's business. Good morning, Koja. She says, men too concerned about other men's opinion of them liking hoes, and men let other men run their dick. Exactly. Precisely. And also, women shouldn't let other women run their pussy. Sis, that's your pussy. Now, once again, unless you fucking my man, what you do with your pussy is your business. Yield says, me personally, I think there's such a thing as a hoe face. I can't get your comment on the screen. There you go. Exactly. I think there is too. Or what I would like to call, you just doing you. It's a phase to me when you're younger. You're basically out here experimenting. I think every woman has gone through an experimental stage. That's completely normal. You're not a hoe or anything negative or derogatory that they tried to attach to you. During my experimental stage, I experimented not just with sex, but I experimented with what I wanted to look like. I rocked so many different hairstyles. I had a jerry curl, I had a perm, I had all types of different stuff before I settled in on where I'm at now. I wore short skirts that the bottom of my booty cheeks used to hang out of. I wore the booty shorts that the bottom of my booty cheeks used to hang out of. Halter tops that showed lots of cleavage back in the day. Oh, you would not have wanted to bring me to your family picnic back in the day, because I was experimenting with all kinds of stuff at that time. Trying to find out, what my niche is, what I like. Now, you can't sit up here and go through your experimental stage and then see other young women going through their experimental stage. And this is the problem that I have with a lot of older women. After you done been through your stuff, now you want to wag your finger at younger women that's going through theirs. Or if you see a woman that basically chose where she wants to be in life, and it's not exactly what you chose to be, she doesn't have to be just like you, sis. She doesn't have to be just like you. And we should not lose any respect or basic humanity for each other as women, because we don't choose to be exactly alike. We are not a monolith. And here's an example of that. If I see a sister coming into a open space, a space where everybody's kind of chilling, and I think that it's an area where, it's conservative, But this sister's a little bit more flamboyant, and she want to, show body parts or whatever. She's not a sister that I would hang out with. I'm not saying that you got to hang out with her, because let's just be honest. At the end of the day, we all choose our own tribes. If your chosen tribe is the tribe of conservative women, then you stick with your tribe. But if her tribe is the tribe of less conservative women, then respect her for the tribe that she's chose. Now, there's one tribe that I will not respect, and that's the tribe that doesn't respect other women. And see, this is where you have to really, really pay attention to what tribe a woman actually falls into, because women can fool you. When a woman doesn't respect your freedom as another woman, she doesn't fall into any tribe at all. She's in her own tribe. That means she's out for herself. There's no sisterhood with a sister that has this mentality. So she could be a conservative sister, but she could be out for herself. That means as conservative as she is, or she appears to be, she can have hoe-like tendencies and sleep with your man too. Or she could be throwing you under the bus every chance she gets. She'll stab you in your back. So the actions of sisters like this puts them in the tribe of they're doing whatever the hell they want to do. And they have no part in a sisterhood because they don't even know what a sisterhood is. They don't have any code about themselves. And these are the ones that you won't see immediately because they're conservative. Then you have the less conservative ones that will stab you in the back, but you can see them coming a mile away because, hey, fishnet, black pantyhose, and 6-inch heels, titties hanging everywhere. You see that coming from a mile away. Yeah, this will be the bitch that fuck your man, throw you under the bus and everything else. And she's part of her own tribe. She's not in a sisterhood at all. She's out for herself. Trinity is asking for the link. Trinity, I might put out the link during my morning live shows. I usually don't, but after I get through saying what I have to say, going through all my bullet points, I will throw out the link. Now let's see, where was I? Get my banner up here. All right, so now we want to talk about woman empowerment. That's the other thing. Now we have a lot of women here that talk about empowering other women, but I don't think that we really know what empowering other women looks like. Now, when I think about women being empowered, I'm thinking about ceilings and glass doors that we need to break through, because there are certain things that are being withheld from us by society because they want to keep us subdued. Just like the inequality still that exists in pay for Black women. We still make far less than every other group in this country. So as Black women, we need to be empowered in that we start doing business with one another. And we need to be empowered and we start lifting our voices up for one another and getting legislations passed for one another. That's what I view as empowerment. Now, I will say that a lot of the women, the female feminists of the past, they did an awesome job of bringing us to where we are today, where we do have a lot of laws that protect us and empower us. But we can still go even further by empowering each other, by setting up organizations and programs specifically for our specific needs, for our group's specific growth. We have a lot of Black female entrepreneurs that we could be supporting. We have a lot of information that we could be giving to one another that can empower the next woman to be great. But here's the thing. If your message of empowerment is that of you contradicting a lot of things that you're saying, or your message of empowerment includes you focusing on a certain group all the time. And that's the problem that I have with some divestors. Now, the divestors that I actually admire and that I would say I agree with most of the time are the divestors that are truly divested. That means that when I look at their content is strictly about empowering women, void of talking about any men, void of mentioning what it is that men should be doing or shouldn't be doing. Now, I'm not a divestor, but I respect the true divestors that do this. I respect them. If you are calling yourself divested, but you're still talking about the men that you feel are doing you wrong, you haven't divested. You're still focused on another group or another people that have nothing to do with your empowerment or your divestment. You can't empower somebody by keeping them in a mindset all the time of focusing on other individuals. The only person that you can truly control is yourself. So why not focus on individualism and improving yourself as a woman? If men frustrate you, as they do they frustrate me too at times. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But I'm not going to sit here and dwell on what they're doing and what they're not doing. I see them over there. I understand what they're doing. The only person that I can control at the end of the day is Faith. Simone Lewis says, so many men are quick to chase hoes, but they would never want their wife and daughter to be a hoe. This is true. Now, in that interview that Tasha K did with that young lady, I think it was Mary J. Blige's ex-husband who she divorced, it was his daughter. I'm quite sure her father, if he ever watches this interview and he sees her speaking freely about her sexual exploits, he's not gonna like it. That is just the nature of men. Because they will not try to see their daughters the same way that they themselves are. It's always, but that's a man mentality with our people. And so we oppress the women more than we do the men. We put more responsibility on the women all the time, more than we do the men. Another thing that's empowering is when you can rise above that and recognize that it's hypocrisy. Now, I understand that men and women, we are not the same. We are different, but we are both human beings with emotions and feelings, wants, thoughts, and desires. In this, we are the same. So I'm just going to stick to the things where we are the same and not the societal norms that we try to throw on each other. The same way he desires sex, she also desires sex. The same way he wants to be loved, she also wants to be loved. So I compare apples to apples because on a basic level, there are a lot of things about men and women that are the same. The only difference between us and them are the physicalities. He can pee standing up. We can't. We can have babies. They can't. That's the only difference. He might be a little bit stronger. We might be a little bit weaker physically. That's the reason why I say most of the differences are the physicalities. But on a human level, on basic human level, we're basically the same. We have the same thoughts, feelings, and desires. And so, on a human level, should we put his thoughts, feelings, and desires over our own just because he has a penis? And should he put his thought, feeling, and desire over his own because we have a vagina? On this, we are level and we are the same. On a human level, we are the same. Look here. So I had sovereignty, empowerment. Now let's talk a little bit about woman code. Woman code. I want to talk about what's off code and what's on code. Now, if you see your sister is out here stumbling and she's out here saying one thing, but her actions are saying very different. But she sits up here and gaslights you and tells you she's not doing that. Should you say something to her or should you keep it to yourself? It's a personal choice. Now, if you choose to say something, there is a, how can I say, there's a responsibility with telling the truth. Like some people, you always hear people say a person can't handle hearing the truth. And that's very true. There are some people that can't handle hearing the truth. And then there are some people that can't handle telling the truth. It goes both ways. There's a responsibility with both. What's up, Amamika and Mama Max? So now if I'm going to tell the truth, I already know what repercussions will come with me telling the truth. The person may get angry. Some people don't tell the truth to another person because they're afraid of backlash. And so what they'll do is they'll lie and they'll go with the flow. And that's completely up to you if you want to do that. I'm not a person that want to lie and go with the flow. I'm not a go with the flow type person. So most likely, if I see something, and especially if you ask me, I'm going to tell you the truth. And my motto is, if you can't handle it, that's on you. And if you get angry with me and never speak to me again, that's also on you. That's your loss. I'm going to keep doing me. Now, I don't go around volunteering. But if you ask me, you're going to get the truth. And you might not like what you hear. And so that brings me to people hearing the truth and not being able to tolerate or accept it. There's some people that cannot accept criticism. Now, there's toxic criticism that is not constructive. There's a certain criticism that people do to put you down. Toxic criticism is something that you cannot grow or develop from at all whatsoever. It is meant to put you in a place where you will never ever learn or grow. You're just made to feel bad about yourself. So if someone is giving you criticism and this is the feeling that you walk away with, it's probably toxic criticism. What's up, Blue Devil Gee? But now if a person is giving you criticism or feedback and it's coming from a place of them either loving, a loving place, or them trying to be helpful, or them just pointing out something that perhaps you didn't see, and is constructive, meant to build you up or meant to point out something that you need to focus on. Now, you don't have to take everybody's criticism or advice. You can listen, and it would be something that you have to think about. Now, sometimes, I'll take a person's criticism or advice. I won't like it. Who likes to be criticized? But if I know that person's coming from a loving place, I'll think about what that person said. And if I find what they say to be right, then I'll make the appropriate changes. And so then that criticism has benefited me and made me grow just a little bit more. But I can also decide that it's not good advice, and I won't take the criticism. And I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. That is your freedom, and it goes back to sovereignty. It goes back to sovereignty. But part of the woman code is, in criticizing each other, make sure that it's not out of malicious intent. I never criticize out of malicious intent. I don't have that in me. Anything that I say to another woman is definitely to build her up and is out of love. So make sure that when you are giving someone feedback, that that's the place that you're coming from. Because now, I'm not going to lie, back in the day, before I was self-actualized. I did a lot of things that wasn't out of love to other women because there was jealousy on my behalf. And you have to really, really be a strong, introspective person to recognize and admit when you have that in you. Good morning, Chaos Rain. If you have that jealousy gene in you where you want to go and attack, this is not criticism at this point, it's an attack. Then no, you need to sit down and be quiet. Good morning, Sheila E. Quiet Storm. No, I'm not talking about giving criticism and attacking other women. And here's how you know that a woman can accept criticism. The first time a person gets angry with you, they show you how they really feel. I know that there are women that don't mind rolling around in the dirt with each other, calling each other, little pet names like bitch, hoe. I know that there's a certain group and class of women that do this. And that's their thing. They have the freedom to do that amongst their group. Like I said earlier, find your tribe. My tribe is a more conservative tribe, and my tribe is of a certain class. Now, lower class, and there are levels. I'm sorry, but if you're doing that, you're in the lower class tribe. And be proud of that. I mean, if that's you, wear the low class badge with pride. Wear it with pride. Say, I'm low class and I love it. Don't sit up here and try to pitch that type of, behavior off as being high class, because it's not. When women get to calling each other bitches and hoes and cackling and being loud and cussing and all that type of stuff, that is low class behavior. But that doesn't make me love you less as a woman, because that's the way you want to carry yourself. I will not disrespect you or treat you like you're less than. This goes back to freedom to be who you are. But please acknowledge that that's what you are. Now, the women of higher class, we're going to typically, deal with each other differently. And we feel a certain way about being called out our name. Respect that woman and how she chooses to carry herself as well. I hear a lot of people want to say that you think you better than me and you highfalutin and you got your nose stuck up in the air. No, respect these women too. They choose not to go on a lower level with how they carry themselves. Now, I do curse, but I'm not going to curse you for no reason. I don't play with other women, calling them bitches and hoes. I don't know you like that, and you don't know me like that. So that's not anything that I play with. So to keep all, confusion down, I don't play with other women in that manner. It's not because I think I'm better or any of that. That's just how I choose to carry myself, and I have the freedom, sovereignty to do so. And this is what I'm talking about as far as the divide of the sisterhood. You have different tribes in the sisterhood. You have the conservative tribe and you have the less conservative tribe. You have the tribe that has class and you have the tribe that has less class. I respect both. Then there's a tribe where these women are every woman for themselves. They have nothing in them that says sisterhood. They're out for self. And they can either be conservative or less conservative. But they're all for themselves. There's that tribe too. And it's that third tribe that I have the issue with. Because that's the one, like I said, that will sleep with your man, stab you in the back, put you on Front Street, cuss you out in the street, set you up to get beat down, dragged, clowned, hurt, killed, maimed. Those are the ones. And let me talk about this latter tribe real quick because, see, they will infiltrate the other two tribes based on where they can best fit. So you'll have a conservative hoe that's out for herself, fitting into the conservative tribe, where the women are on code. And then you'll have the less conservative woman that fits into the less conservative tribe, where the women are on code. And then they go into these different tribes, and you can tell who these women are because they keep up a lot of mess in their respective tribes. There's always a lot of infighting, and the common denominator will always be that one bitch. There's always that one bitch. The infiltrator. She's not on any type of code. And the minute you make her angry, she's going to air out all your dirty laundry. Everything that you told her in secret and in privacy will become public. And this is both in the conservative and less conservative tribe. What's up, Angel Ray? So when you see a woman in your tribe doing this, know that she is not for the sisterhood and oust her out. You cannot be for yourself and be talking about sisterhood. Now, with that said, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. This whole Tasha K situation. Now, from what I can recollect, I remember Lovely T was doing her gossip blogs before Tasha K. Lovely T welcomed Tasha K into the space with open arms, and she sought to empower her on her platform and help build her up. Lovely T began to trust Tasha K and began to tell her secrets about certain people that she had interviews lined up with and certain tea that she had gotten about certain celebrities. But Lovely T doesn't put information out on people unless she is absolutely certain that it is 100% true and she got all the receipts. Lovely T shared some information about Cardi B, but she said she's going to sit on it. I'm going to sit on it, she says to Tasha, because I'm not quite sure if this information is accurate. Tasha K, the first moment that she gets to double cross her sister, she took it. And both of these are dark-skinned, beautifully melanated women. So I don't want to hear anybody talking about, oh, why you bashing Tasha K? She dark-skinned like us. We supposed to be on code. No, Tasha K not on code. Tasha K went off code first when she did what she did to Lovely T. Blue Devil Gee, that's not new. Everybody's talking about that. Now, excuse me for a few inconsistencies here and there on my behalf. Now, if I'm telling the story wrong, you are free to correct me. I am not above being corrected. But that's exactly how I heard the story. And I'm listening to these stories and how people are reporting them just like everybody else. Now, you know me, I am not a gossip blogger, so I don't delve into any of that bullshit. But I will say that as far as woman code goes, Tasha K went against the woman code. Lovely T was a friend. She tried to empower another Black woman on this platform and help her grow her channel. And how did Tasha K repay Lovely T in return? She tried to steal content and she ran to get the first scoop on it. She wanted to be the first one to drop the information, not even researching or not even paying attention to whether or not the information that she's putting out there is accurate or not. And that's how she ended up in the situation she's in today. So she got her karma. Now, I like Tasha K. I like her content. I like her channel. With that said, I recognize that she is a very talented sister. And she can definitely go far in her career doing this. I like Tasha K. I'm not going to stop supporting her platform because she made a mistake. But that doesn't stop me from calling her out. No, I'm not going to be quiet just because she's a dark-skinned sister like me. See, when a sister goes off code, she's no longer part of the sisterhood. She's part of that third sector, the every woman for herself sector. Do you not think that if Tasha K had the opportunity that she wouldn't snake you if she thought that she would benefit from it? She's already shown that this is what she would do. So why would I protect Tasha K? Now, if Tasha K is innocent in all of this, then yeah, I would protect her because I know that this sister did no wrong to another sister. Woman code is that you don't protect a sister just because you like her. If she did another sister wrong, then you're protecting her actually hurts the other sister that was done wrong. If I protect Tasha K, then I am by proxy inadvertently hurting another sister, Lovely T, who was done wrong by Tasha K. Now, Cardi B, I don't give a fuck about her. She's not a sister. And she falls into the every woman for herself category too. So fuck her. And this is how I see, this is how I see and handle things. So now we're going to go over to class. I'm almost done, and then I might drop the link. Depends on how I feel. So now let's talk about class. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but there is a level. There's a level. There's women who are of a higher class, and then there are women who are of a lesser class. I have always stated that we need a better class of women. However, if you don't want to be of a higher class, that is your prerogative. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to love you less as a woman. Long as you not hurting me or nobody else, I could care less what you decide to do with how you carry yourself. And that's what class is basically. It's basically how you carry yourself. Each woman decides how she wants to represent herself to the rest of the outside world. If you decide that you want to represent yourself as a whole to the rest of the outside world, that's your business. I'm not going to love you any less. And I'm going to reserve my judgment because you might be a really awesome person in spite of how you chose to carry yourself. And this is an example of what I'm talking about. A woman may dress promiscuous. She may cuss up a storm, but she could have a heart of gold. She might actually be the best friend you ever had. But it's just that she likes to carry herself of a lesser class than how you like to carry yourself. And you are really good if you can discern the difference. Because there are some women that cuss up a storm, dress like a hoe, and a whole 9 yards. But they have ethics about themselves. Basic ethics. They not gonna fuck your man. They not gonna stab you in the back. They not gonna talk about you behind your back. They not gonna throw you under the bus. But this is how they choose to represent themselves to the world. But they have certain ethics that show that they are upstanding as an individual. Now you have, like I said, women who look and act the same way that of the woman that I just described, but they don't have any ethics about themselves. They're cutthroat and they are strictly for themselves. And these are people I don't respect and I can't deal with. If you show me that you have no ethics, then you're not of a lesser class. You're just strictly sewer garbage. You're garbage. You're sewerage. And there are garbage individuals who are of a higher class too. They carry themselves very, very high class. They are articulate, they're intelligent, and they're gutter butter too. With their articulate, intelligent ass, they will stab you in the back, throw you under the bus, sleep with your man, shank you in the middle of the night. They're unethical. And they too are also garbage. They're sewerage. So when I judge a woman, I don't judge her by her look or how she talks, because we all look and talk differently. We're not a monolith, is what I'm trying to get to here. And so I'm doing this live stream to show the differences, because in hopes that this bring women closer and understanding one another and what the differences are and what to look out for in women that you want to have no dealings with. Now, a lot of times we as women, we will get in our feelings and we will be blinded to the unethical behaviors of other women. But because we love them and they haven't done anything to us, it's not me. It's not you today, sis. It's just not you today. Now, one thing that I've learned being in this social media space is that a lot of the women that get together in these girl gangs, there's always arguing, fighting, and strife between them, and they allow that to trickle over into the public. And so they're fighting and brawling and arguing with each other and exposing each other's secrets in the public. So when you ignore all the signs and you don't choose better the type of women that you hang with, that's what ends up happening to you. All your business out there, you're out here brawling and bickering in the streets, and nobody can tell the person of high class from the person of lesser class. You both look low class. So it's best that when you see those warning signs, cut yourself off immediately. Not saying that you don't be cordial to the person, but feed with a long handled spoon. Pull back. And you have the freedom to do so, because you get to pick and choose who your friends are. You get to pick and choose who you allow in your inner circle. There's very few people that I allow in my inner circle. Very few. There's not many people that I trust like that, especially not no people I meet online. So I'm talking to women today, strictly to women. Last bullet point: safety. Now, we do know that there's an issue with femicide, especially in the Black community, amongst Black women. Black women in our relationships with men that we choose to be with. We are getting hurt out here. And it's not even men that we choose to be with, because there have been plenty of videos where we see women just minding their own business, coming home from a long, hard day of work or whatever, and they're being preyed upon by the men in their close proximity. And most of the time, the men in our close proximity look like us. There was a recording of a woman on a train being raped, and while people just sat by and looked and watched. So it's no longer safe. You got women who can't even go into a convenience store and buy a bottle of wine. I don't know how many times I have gone into a convenience store just to do that very thing. You know, I like to unwind sometimes with a little glass of wine. So I go and I buy my wine and I come home and I just, do me. I'm relaxing. I'm doing a little R&R. I'm taking care of myself. Nothing wrong with that. But you're not free to do that because of a safety issue. And here's where I say, ladies, we got to get serious about defending ourselves. We cannot continue to complain about the lack of protection that it will not be coming. Let's face it, it's just not gonna come. Not in this time frame. There's a lot of, spineless men that will have to die out before we get a group of men that have that in them. This current batch don't have it. They're cowards. So the sooner we grasp that and the sooner we wrap our minds around it, we're just not going to get that help. The better off we'll be, the safer we'll be. Because if you're in a situation and you expect help from any of these cowards that we currently have, you're gonna end up dying, sis. They're not gonna help you. B. Stephanie Bewitch says, or the guy who accused a black woman of bumping into him and she apologized, but he still followed her home and shot her. Exactly. It's not safe. Now, I will say, since we are concerned about each other, another part of the sisterhood can be looking out for other sisters when you're out and about. Me, if you can't get a gun license, I know each state is different, but I would strongly suggest that each of you go and get your gun license and go and purchase yourself a firearm. Go and practice shooting with precision, because it may come down to you or them one day. But if you can't readily get one right now, or while you're waiting to get one, you can go and take a self-defense course, buy a taser. I have one with 2 billion amps. It's a policeman's taser. A small one. It even has the anti-snatch guard. So if someone tries to take my taser out my hand, they will still get electrocuted. It's actually a very, very good tool to have. And just like a gun, if you're going to pull out your taser, be prepared to use it. It's not something that you would use to just try to scare somebody away. I saw a video where this white woman was going to be attacked by a group of black women, and she had her taser. But she pulled it out, but she didn't use it on anybody. She was just hitting the electric button, thinking that the shock was going to scare them. Ain't nobody scared until they get shot or electrocuted. So if you pull out a weapon, be prepared to use it. Don't be slow to use your weapon, especially if it's in self-defense. So if you're waiting on your gun license and you're waiting to be able to afford to buy a firearm, tasers are not expensive. You can get a pretty decent taser for under $40. Under $40. Mine was about $49. 2 billion amps. I tested it on a watermelon, and I unfortunately I had to use it on somebody's dog. You know, a lot of you dog owners, by the way, if you let your dog out and that motherfucker come running up to me, I'm gonna tase that motherfucker. Yeah, it works very well on dogs. And if you hold the taser down for 5 seconds, that is enough to knock a person out for several minutes, giving you time to escape. 5 seconds, that's all you need. Some of them only take 3 seconds to go down. Pepper spray. The next thing, if you're going to have a taser, also have pepper spray. Good to have both. Because you can get a combination off. And once again, if you pull out your pepper spray, don't be sitting around holding it like, I got the pepper spray. No. Because while you trying to figure out whether or not you want to use the pepper spray and you trying to intimidate somebody with some goddamn pepper spray, they gonna two-piece your ass, and then that's your ass right there. If you pull out your defense mechanism, be prepared to use it immediately. Do not hesitate. In situations where I think I'm not going to have time to go for my taser, I will pepper spray the hell out of a motherfucker to get them off their game, and then I will tase them into slumber. It's a great two-piece mechanism. The goal is to get the person decapacitated to the point where you can get away to safety. That is the goal. I want all of my sisters to be safe out here. I want all of you to be smart. So like I said, the quickest thing that you can do is get a taser and pepper spray while you're waiting for your gun registration. The gun is the most effective. And for those of you who are concerned about possibly killing someone, just think that that person may possibly want to kill or harm you. We as women have got to remove feeling and emotion when it comes to our lives. But if you're really concerned, you can go to a range and learn how to shoot with precision, as I have. And there are certain parts of the body that you can hit without actually it causing being a fatal shot. So if you're concerned about murdering somebody, there are ways that you can defend yourself without it being a fatal shot with the gun as your weapon. Or you have the option of doing the pepper spray taser combo. These are all good ways for you to protect yourself so that you can get off to safety. So let's see. I think that's all I have. Yep, that's it. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, but I do want to thank everyone who came in today. Now, there's going to be a few changes with my channel. Commendable K and I will still do the Commendable Faith broadcast, but there's going to be a change to how I bring people up on the panel. I will start putting subscriber only mode for people that want to comment in the chat. You have to be a subscriber in order to have a voice in the chat. And in order to come on the panel, now you either have to send a super chat or Cash App or be a channel member. I'm not doing any panels anymore where there's buffoonery and people just get to come on free of charge to be buffoons. And I got to deal with that. Now, there are some of you that don't come on and you know, act a fool, and I appreciate that. But there's been too many buffoons that trickle over here. I don't know why my channel was attracting that. So to attract less of the buffoonery, I'm going to charge. I'm going to start charging for the panel. And that's effective immediately. So this is the reason why I haven't really been opening up the panel so that people can just come on here and just beef and say whatever the hell they want to do, because this is not a beef channel. I don't talk about beefing, and I don't want to do beef videos, and I don't want to go back and forth with people. That is a waste of time. Right? Just a regular guy. No more free lunch. Anybody that wants to be heard on my channel, hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat, or become a channel member. And with that said, I think that's it. I have nothing else. I hope you enjoyed this morning live, and I will see you in the next one. With that said, I love everybody. Thank you for coming out and supporting. Peace.